What is up, my comic comrades? Welcome back to another episode of Variant Quarantined Edition, as we've dubbed it. I think it's like day 13 or 14. I'm not exactly sure. It's been quite a while. And like many of you, I've been watching tons of movies. I started watching Alter Carbon on Netflix. I'm really digging that. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched that already. And also, I bought Mario Kart 8 this past weekend. I've been playing it with my wife all weekend. It is freaking fantastic. Yes, I know I am late to the game, but this game is so much fun, and she gets so mad when I beat her. It's freaking hilarious. So if you have a Nintendo Switch and you have yet to buy Mario Kart 8, I highly recommend you do so. It's a ton of fun. I will say though, you're gonna need Pro controllers with it. I mean, you don't need Pro controllers with it, but it plays much better with a Pro controller. Anyway, let's start talking about what today's video is about, and that is the Bloodshot movie. More specifically, my spoiler-free review on said movie. Now, I feel really bad for this movie because it couldn't have been released at a worse possible time. It was released literally about a week before all movie theaters were shut down because of COVID-19. And because of that, Sony Pictures, much like a bunch of other movie studios, were like, look, we're just gonna release this movie on video on demand and let people purchase it at home and watch it on their TVs, because they have no idea when theaters are gonna be back up and running. Anyway, here at Variant, we are big fans of Valiant Entertainment, and I'm personally a pretty big fan of Bloodshot, so I was pretty excited for this movie. We even did a history of episode on Bloodshot, which you could check out right here. Now, as you guys may or may not know, we are pretty good friends with Valiant Entertainment. We actually went to their studios in New York about 2 years ago to shoot a history of X-Men War episode. Everyone who works at Valiant is super nice, and of course they have good characters and comic books. So Bloodshot as an actual comic book character, I dig a lot. He's a super badass assassin super soldier who cannot die pretty much. With that said, of course, that means when they released a live action Bloodshot movie on video on demand, it had to be purchased, I had to watch it, and review it for you guys. So with all that said, let's get into my spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. I didn't hate the movie, but I also didn't love the movie by any means. The best way to put it is, unfortunately, it was just very forgettable. For me, there was nothing in the movie that you'd be talking about weeks or months from now, which is unfortunate because the superhero movie space is so competitive right now, you have to have that. And that's not to say nothing in the movie was fun or entertaining. I actually like the way they handled his memories, and some of the action scenes were pretty dope. But they're those dope action scenes where it's like, yeah, that's really cool and it looks awesome, but again, you're not going to be talking about it like that fight in Winter Soldier or the epic fight in Infinity War. And I know it's kind of not fair to compare a movie like Bloodshot, especially Valiant Comics' first outing, to something like the MCU, which has been going for like a decade now. But unfortunately, that's how a lot of the general audience is going to look at it, because not everyone is a diehard comic book fan and is going to look at this movie like I would or you would yourself. They're just going to see it at face value and be like, that wasn't as good as Captain America Winter Soldier. But again, just because Bloodshot isn't this superhero blockbuster masterpiece doesn't mean this film isn't entertaining. I kind of look at this film like the Transformer films or the Fast and Furious movies, where they're not like quote unquote the best films in the world, but if you're just looking for eye candy and cool sequences here and there, you're gonna have fun. Plus, say what you want about Vin Diesel, for me, I think he's super likable, and I'll pretty much watch anything he's in. Family. Unfortunately, what I think this movie suffers from a lot is expositional dialogue. Characters are constantly explaining to the audience what is going on. And for me, I personally like to put things together and figure things out as the story progresses, and not constantly be told this goes here, that goes there. That way you could have that oh moment, you know, where you're like, that's why he did that, and that's why she did this to him. I know it may feel like I'm kind of all over the place giving my thoughts with this review, and that's because I really don't know where I land with this film. I mean, again, I didn't hate it and I didn't love it. It's just kind of there. I think the best way to put it is, if you just want to turn off your brain for an hour and 40 minutes and you don't care too much about character development and story arcs, and you just want to watch cool action scenes, you're gonna enjoy this movie. So it really just depends on what mood you're in. I don't think this is gonna be a superhero movie that's gonna stand the test of time and people are gonna be talking about for years and years to come, but there's gonna be people that enjoy it. And one of the things that was most disappointing to me is we didn't really get to see the Bloodshot we know and love from the comic books. You barely got to see the Bloodshot with the white skin and the red eyes at all. You know the part in the trailer where Bloodshot is like falling from a skyscraper fighting some dude and he's got the white skin? Yeah, that's pretty much the only time we see him like that. That and like one other time on the ground, which is also in the trailer. So for me, I was personally disappointed with that, because I was hoping at the end of the movie we were gonna get like that fully realized superhero shot of Bloodshot, but we didn't get that. Final thoughts. Overall, I thought the movie was just okay. Again, like I said earlier, I didn't hate the movie, I didn't love the movie. It was just, yeah, there it is. Which is super disappointing for me because the Bloodshot comics are just so good, and Tim Seeley is doing an awesome job with the title currently. Plus, it'd be a shame that if this movie isn't received well, we're not going to get any more Valiant comic movies, meaning we're not going to get a live-action X-Men War movie, Ninjak movie, Brother Voodoo, Rye, I want to see those characters on the big screen, so I hope we get a second shot. So if nothing else, I'd say purely as a comic book fan, support this movie. That way we have a greater chance of seeing other Valiant heroes on the big screen. But with that said, that brings today's episode to a close. We got some cool episodes lined up this week. We're going to be wrapping up the Hell Arisen story arc. I'm really excited about that. James Tynion has been doing a great job with that series, so I'm excited to tell you guys how it ends. And we have some other fun things. So stay right here on the Variant channel as we continue to entertain everyone as they're quarantined at home, myself included. So we'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.